Hey everybody, it's Party Elite here with another episode of Total Breakdown. We continue our series between Xiphos and RomulanDawg today, with Xiphos leading the High Elves and RomulanDawg leading the Warriors of Chaos. We begin, of course, with talk of composition and deployment, and while the High Elves seem fairly kitey, fear not, because the Warriors of Chaos have brought a cure for what some might call a disease. Let's take a look at the High Elves first. We have a Princess in charge up in the air. We've also got a Elven Mage of High Magic on horseback, and a Noble on horseback as well. Up front, 3 units of Illyrian Reaver Archers, hoping to get some early damage in. And then we've got some Spearmen on either flank back here. We've got some White Lines of Shrace in the middle over here, and then 3 units of Phoenix Guard. They're physically resistant, and they have martial mastery rather than just martial prowess. On the other side of the field, meanwhile, you can see we've got Sethriel, the Everwatcher, in charge. Up front, some aspiring champions, and then on either flank, we've got these Marauder Horsemasters and Marauder Horsemen here and over here as well. Then the main front line, I suppose you could call it, consists of these 4 units of Chaos Marauders. Right back here, we can see some more Chaos Marauders alongside this Chaos Chariot over here. We've got 2 units of Chaos Trolls and 2 Hell Cannons back here, already firing away. They will do a lot of damage. Magical damage, so physical resistance will be ignored, and it's also armor piercing, so a lot of heavy hitting power there from the Hell Cannons. You can see already getting some shots in towards these Illyrian Reaver Archers, trying to get some damage done, trying to scare these Illyrian Reaver Archers back, and doing just that as they fall back. One of these Archers does fall. Not a lot of damage done, but I think more damage to tactics over here than to health or to morale. These Illyrian Reaver Archers will have their work cut out for them, as the Hell Cannons will be able to fire and shut both of them down. You can see these Illyrian Reaver Archers needing to pull back, these ones as well, trying to get aggressive but needing to fall back ultimately. We do have over here the Princess recognizing the reality of this threat from the Hell Cannon and wanting to take care of that as quickly as possible, but allowing herself to get shot by these Marauder Horsemasters and Marauder Horsemen as well. And you can see the Illyrian Reaver Archers trying to push forward and cause some damage wherever possible, but we do get immediate responses on both sides over here, scaring these Illyrian Reaver Archers back. These ones as well having to fall back and try to stay safe from all these Horsemen and Horsemasters that are trying to close the gap. The Hell Cannons continue to fire away. You can see this Hell Cannon over here has taken a fair bit of damage, but unfortunately not completely shut down. It might have been wise to actually take a risk and send that Princess in to charge in and destroy these units. They are unbreakable, of course, so they won't just give up on the fight. They will keep firing away and keep these Illyrian Reaver Archers at a fair distance over here. And you can see these Horsemen and Horsemasters here trying to get some damage in of their own at these distances, and some good micromanagement on both sides of the field, trying to keep these units alive while also trying to kill the responding kiting units. So very beautiful micromanagement over here, moving back and forth, swinging back and forth. Hell Cannon also firing away at various units, trying to cause some damage wherever possible, trying to fire at the Princess as well a couple times, but now focusing in on the Illyrian Reaver Archers here, who have to dodge these shots. And I don't think those shots are being manually controlled. I do think it's just free fire over here, but still causing a fair bit of damage. Again, not just to health and morale, but also to the tactical approach that I think the High Elves were relying on. Take a look at that. A beautiful shot over there, just dropping these Illyrian Reaver Archers. Meanwhile, back here, you can see the rest of the High Elf army is actually standing steady. They don't need to push forward, they don't feel, so they're not pushing forward. They're not risking fire from these Hell Cannons, and the Hell Cannons continue to fire away at these Illyrian Reaver Archers. And take a look at that, down to 50% health across the board, more or less. Here as well, you can see the Princess does get hit by, in just a moment's time, Final Transmutation, and that's going to cause a lot of hurt. It is an upgraded cast, so it's an extended cast duration as well, and her health is dropping extremely quickly over here. She's going to get shot down by some of these Marauder Horsemasters and Horsemen as well, so she needs to pull back into safety. Take a look at her health drop right down to about 50%. Hell Cannon fire coming in as well. I think that was targeting the Princess, actually, but in comes Apotheosis trying to keep her alive, and these Marauder Horsemen and Horsemasters have done a wonderful job in keeping themselves healthy while also pushing in to scare off these Illyrian Reaver Archers. Beautiful to see. And the Hell Cannon here continues to fire away, I think, at the Princess still, hoping to eliminate that leadership nice and early. The Noble here pulling back into safety as well, wanting to get involved with his anti-large and armor-piercing capabilities against some of these Horsemen and Horsemasters. Well, over here you can see we actually have a melee engagement going down as these Illyrian Reaver Archers get destroyed by the Horsemen and the Horsemasters that are charging in as well. And these Illyrian Reaver Archers continue to pull back into safety from all of that Hell Cannon fire. Now, I will say, the Hell Cannons are using up a lot of their ammunition on these Illyrian Reaver Archers, who are dodging and managing to mostly stay alive. They're not staying alive, they're dying pretty quickly, but they're managing here and there. Some of those Hell Cannon shots should most certainly, I think, be saved for the Phoenix Guard when they get activated. Remember, the Phoenix Guard have martial mastery, not just martial prowess, so that means as long as their health is above 50%, they have +8 melee attack and +12 melee defense. Those are huge buffs to their stats, and their physical resistance mean they're susceptible to magical damage that the Hell Cannon has. So maybe a bit of a misstep there, but nonetheless, it is nice to see those two Hell Cannons working away at these Illyrian Reaver Archers. You can see we've got a rout kicking off over here. We've got these guys unfortunately giving up. These Marauder Horsemasters decided to get engaged against the Noble, and the Noble made very quick work of them, of course. Now these Illyrian Reaver Archers here pushing in towards these Marauder Horsemen over here, trying to eliminate that unit while the Hell Cannons continue to fire away. And take a look at that. We get some beautiful shots, unfortunately some misses, and that kind of missing is what's going to cost these Hell Cannons a lot. If they keep doing that, that is not an ideal situation. You can see the Princess here moving forward again, taking a bit of a risk, taking a shot here, trying to take care of the Hell Cannon once and for all, doing a fair bit of damage, but unfortunately not enough. The Hell Cannon stays there, keeps firing away. They actually abandon their equipment momentarily and then dive back into the equipment there. So good call, good micromanagement, good awareness there as well, while we still have these Horsemen and Horsemasters and all pushing forward, I think, still trying to take care of these Illyrian Reaver Archers. And the Princess as well, though she has recovered her health to above 50% thanks to the apotheosis from earlier, is being chased, I think, by Sethariel, the Everwatcher there, hoping to use another bit of magic here to cause some more damage to the Princess. And again, now pulling back into safety as the Warriors of Chaos as well, not playing too aggressively, able to stay back there as the High Elves now pushing forward here, I think wanting to get a little bit more aggressive, wanting to try and shut down some of these Warriors of Chaos units. And you can see these range shots here trying to scare off the Marauder Horsemasters over here alongside the aggression from the Noble as well as the Mage of High Magic. And we do get some more shots coming in from the Hell Cannon. Great shot over there, I think, dropping 3 units of Illyrian Reaver Archers there, getting the health to drop significantly on this unit here. Another shot comes in from the Hell Cannon. Beautiful work there. These might actually, some of them might be manually shot. I'm not 100% certain, but either way, great targeting, great target selection. You can see we've got these Horsemasters and Horsemen coming in as well to finish the job. The Elven Mage, they're trying to intercept, and so these Horsemasters pull back immediately. We get some more shots coming in from the Hell Cannons as well. Again, a beautiful clump being presented here by the Illyrian Reaver Archers, so why not take advantage of that? Another rout kicking in, and the Hell Cannons are very quickly using up all of their ammunition as these Phoenix Guard move, I think, within range. They still want to keep a safe distance over here. They don't want to take too many risks. Some more shots into these Illyrian Reaver Archers again, continuing to try and scare them off, while to the left over here you can see the Horsemasters and the Horsemen just pinging shots at the Noble, trying to eliminate the Noble, who is armor-piercing and anti-large, so fairly threatening, of course. And you can see these Hell Cannons still, I feel like a broken record, firing away, scaring these Illyrian Reaver Archers off. And it's about time, perhaps, for the Warriors of Chaos to get a bit more aggressive here, because the High Elves most certainly are. It would be a good idea for the Hell Cannons to start firing maybe on some of these Phoenix Guard next. One unit over here you can see has already used up all of its ammunition, but the other one might perhaps choose to fire these Phoenix Guard right now. Again, Martial Mastery is no trifle buff here. It does make a very big difference, and the Phoenix Guard, again, are physically resistant as well, so the magical damage could go a long way. The Princess, meanwhile, once more using Apotheosis to recover some hit points here, pulling back into safety away from all of these Marauder Horsemasters and Horsemen as well. Well, you can see the Chaos Chariot actually getting activated now, looking for an opportunity to get involved, while the Hell Cannon fires away finally at the Phoenix Guard over here, doing a fair bit of damage in that one shot, dropping their health by about, I would say, maybe 10 or so percent. Good call, though. Start chipping away at some of those Phoenix Guard, because that'll make a huge difference in the later half of this engagement, of this battle. And the Chaos Chariot here, meanwhile, looking for, I think, a side charge into the Spearmen over here, and as they push in for that side charge and get a fair bit of damage in, beautifully done there. Great driving charge there, dropping health by about 25%, dropping morale by about 50%. Great awareness there, great management there as well, coming in from the side, making sure these units are not braced, they're not facing the right direction, and very quickly they should actually pull away into safety and just keep doing that, keep ping-ponging back and forth. And as that's happening on the left, on the right over here, you can see we get another use of Final Transmutation, focusing in on these Illyrian Reaver Archers, hitting the Princess as well, bringing down her health to about 25%, bringing the Noble's health down as well to about 50%, so great work over there. And Sethariel, the Everwatcher as well, diving in with his magical damage right into the Princess over here, causing a fair bit of hurt. That Princess is not having a good time. Her morale drops right away. She pops Foe Seeker to try and get away into safety, so great use of Final Transmutation there, dropping health significantly. These Illyrian Reaver Archers giving up on the fight. They are routing. We've got some terror kicking in over here as well. A rout for these Illyrian Reaver Archers as well, as the Princess tries to take to the air. In comes Apotheosis, trying to keep her alive, and the Hell Cannon fire continues, trying to hit these Phoenix Guard, but unfortunately another missed shot over there, and the Phoenix Guard are able to just move right through that and push towards some of these cavalry units. And you can see the Chaos Chariot over here, very nicely managed, just ping-ponging between these two units, the Phoenix Guard as well as the Spearmen, but maybe getting a little bogged down over here now. The Spearmen turn around, and the Phoenix Guard as well push in towards the Chaos Chariot, and the Chaos Chariot not able to pull away. We've got these Phoenix Guard pushing over here as well as the Mage of High Magic here, trying to shut down the Chaos Chariot. The Chaos Chariot does barely manage to pull away into safety, as Marauder Horsemasters and Horsemen push in to get some shots in, while the Hell Cannon continues to fire away in the central clump, I think once more focusing in on the Princess rather than the Phoenix Guard over here. Not, in my opinion, the best call. So low on ammunition right now. Those handful of shots that are left matter a lot, and they need to be used perfectly. And you can see, though, immediately we have a response here. Apotheosis coming down on the princess, trying to keep her alive and fighting, and she needs to get away from this engagement as we have these Chaos Trolls sort of clubbing away at her. We've got Sethariel the Everwatcher in there as well, and we've got these Marauder Horsemen coming in as well alongside these Horse Masters, just trying to pin her down, keep her in place, stop her from taking off, but she manages to just peel away and take to the air over here, while these Chaos Trolls, of course, made to rout. They're very low on leadership. They very quickly give up on the fight, and they've done so just here right now as well, while you can see we have Sethariel here diving in to the White Lines of Shrace, diving into perhaps the Phoenix Guard as well. The Phoenix Guard are anti-large and armor-piercing, so Sethariel does have to be careful here. Despite his magical damage output, he has to be very careful when engaged against the Phoenix Guard, and you can see over here as well, we've got Apotheosis going down once more on the princess, desperately trying to keep her alive, using Foe Seeker to keep her in the air and keep her at a safe distance from all of these Horsemen and Horse Masters, while you can see the Chaos Chariot here very quickly fell apart, stayed stuck in combat against these spears and halberds for a little bit too long, and is already at about 25% health, so not an ideal situation for the Chaos Chariot. One of them has died as well, so that'll cause some damage output reduction as well among the Chaos Chariot. But you can see back here, we've got these Chaos Trolls pushing in towards some of these Spearmen over here who are currently occupied by the Aspiring Champions as well as the Chaos Marauders. The Aspiring Champions would have been much better used against some of these Phoenix Guard, in my opinion. Again, that magical damage output needs to be well placed and well used, and Sethariel needs to be very wary around those Phoenix Guard because of their anti-large capabilities. But you can see in comes not only a great charge from the Chaos Trolls, but also a great use of that breath ability from the princess here, getting a lot of hurt done into this massive clump of Chaos Marauders and Aspiring Champions. Beautiful to see that Moondragon's Breath be used so wonderfully here. A giant clump presented and exploited immediately by the High Elves there. So great work there, dropping health to about 50% on these Chaos Marauders, dropping morale to about 50% as well, and the Aspiring Champions took a little bit of hurt as well. And you can see another Apotheosis coming in, trying to keep this princess alive desperately. I think at least hoping to use all of those breaths, diving in towards Sethariel the Everwatcher over here. Maybe not the best call. Sethariel decides to turn around and dive into these White Lines of Shrace instead, trying to get rid of these White Lines, and now turning around and trying to push towards these Phoenix Guard maybe, and then deciding better against it, maybe pushing in for another rear charge into these Phoenix Guard. But either way, the Sethariel needs to keep a safe distance from all of these Phoenix Guards and needs to find a way to use magic or physical abilities to try and take down the princess once and for all. Anytime she lands, she needs to be taken care of, and you can see a shot comes in towards, I think, this clump over here, causing a lot of damage to that right flank. The Chaos Marauders begin to lose a lot of morale as well as health, of course, and we've got the Aspiring Champions as well, losing a chunk of their health with that shot, so beautifully done there. And you can see over here, we've got these Chaos Marauders giving up on the fight. They don't really stand much of a chance against the Phoenix Guard, especially with Martial Mastery active as well. And you can see over here now, using Apotheosis to try and keep the Noble alive, while the Princess is looking for another opportunity to get involved somewhere, flying around, keeping a safe distance from all of these ranged units from the Warriors of Chaos, and also looking for an opportunity to use that Moondragon's Breath once more. Just needs to find a nice clump to use it in. You can see these Spearmen are not having a good time against the Aspiring Champions as well as these Chaos Marauders. The Phoenix Guard as well not going to have a good time against the Aspiring Champions. We've got these Trolls as well as these Marauder Horse Masters coming in with some rear charges, while at the same time another use of the Moondragon's Breath on this beautiful clump of Chaos Marauders, causing so much death and devastation, truly killing, maiming, and burning some of these Chaos Marauders. You can see both of these units took a very severe pummeling there. They're both willing to give up on the fight right now, wavering. In comes a charge as well, a bit of a risk, but that does help bring in some terror, and these guys are routing. But Sethariel, the Everwatcher here, immediately responds by charging in himself, trying to get some damage into the Princess, and you can see these range shots coming in as well, trying to eliminate that leadership as quickly as possible. Foe Seeker is popped. In comes Apotheosis as well. The Princess needs to take to the air. She is out of ammunition now, so it's a bit of a risky situation for her, but she needs to pull up into the air as quickly as possible. You can see we've got all of these Horse Masters coming in. We've got these Horsemen coming in as well, trying to keep her down on the ground, trying to pin her down with those melee engagements, but unfortunately she is able to peel away and take to the air. So very nicely managed there. A very big risk taken, but it was worthwhile. And you can see we've got these Horsemen and Horse Masters back here as well, looking for an opportunity to get involved somewhere. They're focusing in, I think, on various units here, not really trying to pin down the Princess, but now turning around, firing away at her. We've got these Horse Masters and Horsemen as well, firing away at the Princess. We've got the Princess diving in on Sethariel, the Everwatcher over here, who in turn is going to try and defeat her, but needs to pull away because there are Phoenix Guard over here. We got a nice rear charge from the Chaos Troll. Again, I think trying to keep her pinned down on the ground, but she is able to just take to the air in a last minute flight over there, takes to the air, and you can see Sethariel over here pushing right through the Phoenix Guard, but again needs to pull away very quickly. And you can see all of these Horsemen and Horse Masters as well, just firing away at the Princess, trying to get her to give up on the fight, if not die, and these Chaos Marauders as well, rallying now, wanting to dive in, but not really able to do that much. These aspiring champions as well, falling apart against the Phoenix Guard. We've got these spearmen over here getting a nice rear charge in there alongside the noble. The princess once more takes to the air, hit by Plague of Rust, allowing the trolls and all to do a little bit of damage as she took to the air, but again, up in the air, safe now, but very low on health. She needs to stay up there and needs to stay away from all of these Marauder Horsemen who still have some ammunition left, as well as Marauder Horsemasters who get those last couple shots in there. Sub 500 hit points now on that princess. And you can see over here the White Lines of Shrace finally fell apart under all of that pressure from all of these Chaos Marauders, as well as these Marauder Horsemasters back there. And you can see the Hell Cannon unit actually back there, standing steady, not getting involved. Now, that might not be a terrible call over here, because the Hell Cannon unit is unbreakable, so at the very least, it's ensuring that across the board, we're not seeing morale reduction because of the loss of numbers. So it might not be a bad idea to actually keep your Hell Cannon back there. We have this other unit, though, being sent forth to try and get involved, I think perhaps with some rear charges here and there, hoping to get some damage in, primarily, I think, to morale. Meanwhile, over here, you can see the Spearmen are getting some assistance through Apotheosis. Now, I don't know if it was intended for the Spearmen or if it was intended for the Phoenix Guard, and it was a bit of a misclick there, but nonetheless, keeping some of these melee units alive. I think giving up hope a little bit on the princess over here, who is so low on health, and her regen cap has almost been reached as well, that using an Apotheosis on her at this point in time might actually have been a huge waste. So good call over there, trying to keep, I think, the Spearman or perhaps the Phoenix Guard alive over there, using it on the Spearman there, but the princess here kind of doing a bit of a sacrificial move over here, moving closer to all of these Marauder Horsemen. I don't know if that was intentional, maybe trying to buy some time for these Spearmen and Phoenix Guard, but the Spearmen especially would have been fine with their silver shields. The Phoenix Guard, again, they've got that physical resistance, so maybe just a bit of a mistake there, keeping her floating in the area. Not much left for the princess to do except for maybe get a nice charge here or there, get a little bit of terror activated here or there, but you can see we've got these Marauder Horsemasters as well, pushing in, hoping to get some damage done, but in comes a charge before she does die. The princess tries to terrify these Chaos Trolls off, turns around and tries to take to the air again. Her health is now just at 60. Oh, no, there it goes. She's dead. The princess has fallen, but the High Elves stand steady, still willing to fight, and you can see it's actually, the balance of power is actually very strongly against the Warriors of Chaos. Sethariel, the Everwatcher over here as well, very low on health. He might actually fall as well, picking fights against the Phoenix Guard over here, who are physically resistant, but they are also anti-large, and thus a Pyrrhic victory for the High Elves. What started as a build ready to do some heavy kiting was quickly shut down by the Hell Cannons that I think were brought to the field to counter just that. Unfortunately for the Warriors of Chaos, the remaining High Elves were well equipped to defeat the Marauders and Trolls they'd brought, especially with the assistance of the giant fire-breathing dragon in the sky. Great use of those breath attacks and Apotheosis alongside baiting Hell Cannon shots that may have been better used against the physically resistant Phoenix Guard who come in with martial mastery. That meant that the High Elves came out on top today. As always, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more Total War content and keep sending in those battle replays. I do think it's one of the best ways to learn, and it's always nice to highlight such amazing battles from the community. I'd also like to thank all of my patrons for supporting the channel on a month-to-month basis, making a huge difference in keeping it alive and running smoothly. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you on the battlefield.